Just waiting for Facebook to connect everybody. Hi, everybody. Happy Monday. Happy beginning of the week. There are 4 weeks of summer left. And as I told you, I am going live every single day. Today, we're going to talk about. I originally wanted to talk about something that affected the case type, so like a specific aspect of the case. But today, we got 2 new approvals via email, via premium processing. So the first approval, which I'll probably talk about tomorrow, we got the case approved in 4 days. So we are loving preparing our cases very diligently and getting these stellar results for our clients. This is something that is extremely important to everything that we do. Um, the second approval that we got was an approval for a performer. And as you guys know, or if you don't know, I'm going to give you a little bit of insight. There are 3 artistic professions that USCIS hates, or rather, they love to RFE. They love to really push our buttons and make it so that those cases are denied. So today we got a performer approved, a performer approved via premium processing who originally had an RFE. RFEs are to be expected for these 3 profession types. So let's get into the good, the bad, and the ugly. So the bad is performers, musicians, and dancers are very typically RFE'd by USCIS. Unfortunately, that is just the name of the game. It comes with the territory of being a performer or a musician or a dancer. These cases tend to be RFE'd, even the stronger ones. And case in point, we did have a client that was RFE'd that was hired to star in a Netflix show. So just to give you perspective, even those who and she had performed in an Oscar nominated film. So, again, think of somebody who has been in an Oscar nominated film as the lead character and was slated. One of the contracts that we included was a performer contract for Netflix. This person received an RFE. Now, this other case I'm talking about is a performer as well, from Canada. And this case was a pretty difficult case because theater performers tend to really get the brunt of USCIS's poor analysis. So I want to talk about why this is another win. A really big part of making a successful case is really explaining the aspects of the industry norms. Now, this is extremely important because remember, you need to put yourself into the perspective of the person who is analyzing your case. Is a person who does not have knowledge of the arts, does not have knowledge of theater in this particular client that we're talking about, which is why we received such a harsh RFE. Now, one of the things that really bothered me about this RFE was the boldness of the officer to basically state that one of the experts that we included within the petition is an expert that had nothing to do with the theater industry. Now, as most people know, the theater industry is part of the entertainment industry. It is not as widely patronized or followed by, for example, like Hollywood blockbuster films. But for example, theater is something that is extremely important and within the entertainment industry. Now, theater and theatrical performances or live performances are kind of a subgroup, right? They're something that we can intelligently make a connection to. Somebody who is performing live songs, right, in a theater. Can be considered a theatrical performer, even if when we think of theater, we're thinking about like Cabaret or Chicago or Into the Woods on Broadway. There's a lot of really interesting ways to describe a theater performer, and this client in particular was a musical live performer in addition to traditional theatrical performances for major hotels. And USCIS, if you don't know anything about performance and entertainment in hotels here in the United States, it is a huge industry. It is very, very, very big. Um, Entertainment and pleasing clients within the hotel and hospitality industry is a major industry here in the US. So it is huge. It's a huge feat. It's a major accomplishment to be selected as the lead and only singer to perform every night. Think of it as a smaller scale of performing live every night in Las Vegas in a residency. I'm sure you guys have heard like the residencies that Adele is doing in Vegas, that Madonna has done, that Britney Spears has done. Think of that, but on a smaller scale for like a 5-star hotel, which is not even a small scale. It's just not Vegas, right? So what what I didn't like about this RFE, and I'm very, very aggressive with my RFEs because I believe that it is a great opportunity to educate and to train, to show the officer who's analyzing, like, hey, I understand that you have interpreted the data in this way, but let me shed some light on what the information actually means. And number two, let me give you case law and the federal regulations to assist you in the analysis of this case, right? Because this is not just an open-ended world. This is the world of O1 visas where there are specific regulations, there's specific case law and precedent that the officer needs to follow in his or her analysis. So by stating that my client's expert signer, who is an authority on hiring entertainment and live vocal performances for the hotel industry, is not an expert, is an incorrect analysis. Number one, is a mischaracterization of my client's achievements, and is a blatant ignorance of the facts. So again, the good, the bad, and the ugly. The bad is that performers, musicians, dancers almost always get RFEs. The good is that these professions are so multifaceted that there's a lot of evidence to argue. So there's a lot of data to put in within the federal regulations, within the criteria of the O1. And the ugly is that, unfortunately, because these professions have a lot of data, it can get ugly if they're not properly organized. So somebody sent me, hi, you haven't responded to my comments. I receive a lot of direct messages and I don't respond to them, unfortunately. So I really encourage you guys to send me emails. And if it is something that is regards to my free resources, happy to give it for free. Specific case questions I cannot answer without a consultation because of malpractice reasons, of ethical reasons, etc. So if it's something that is regarding to like a question that you want me to answer on a live, happy to do a live, but specific case questions or DMs I don't really answer. It is best to just email me directly. My email is my name, Elektra@yaolawgroup.com. We are constantly on email in our office. It is actually one of the services that we deliver to our clients where you are guaranteed very rapid email communication. And please go read our reviews to have that confirmation of clients who have come to us, have been approved through us, and who confirm that they receive very rapid communication. Now, this is something really important because most people complain about their attorneys not answering their emails or not answering their phone calls. We make it so that we have created a roadmap for you guys so that you really understand what you're getting into. So the retainer agreement outlines all the information about what we're doing, and you receive rapid communication reminders constantly so that you're not lost. But just to go back to what we were discussing earlier, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So the good is performers, musicians, and dancers, they have a lot of data. They have a lot of evidence for us to utilize because of the multidimensional aspect of these professions. Now think about it. A musician with his or her instrument can perform in a band, can perform for a film, can perform for private events, can perform as background music for live video and streaming, can do a lot of really interesting things, not limited to traditionally just performing in a band. And of course, our musicians perform in bands, but they also do other things as well that are not just limited to performing traditionally in a band. As I said, you can perform in a band, you can record music for a film, you can be background musician for a singer or performer. There's a lot of stuff that we can use, which is why I encourage you guys, especially my F1s, to really utilize your OPT to the best of your ability. If you are not networking, going out, doing all types of work within the bounds of what you studied, then you're wasting your time, because OPT is really a great opportunity to strengthen and architect your future O1 and EB1A petition by being as active as possible, both here in the States and obviously back home if you choose to go back home and work. So the good is lots of data, lots of multidimensionality, multidisciplinary work that I can use within the case. The bad is that these professions are not liked at all. These professions are highly, highly RFE'd. Performers, musicians, and dancers, highly RFE'd professions. So just make sure that once you're preparing your O1 petition, that you're really working with somebody who understands these professions and somebody who can advise you of the proper risks. And the ugly is, because of the large amounts of data, the large amount of information that we're working with, it is possible for portfolios to be very poorly organized. You do not want a poorly organized portfolio, because what does that mean? That means that the officer is not following what you've done within your career. And it's a beautiful thing. All of the things that you have performed within your career, all the different ways that you have expressed your creativity, you should do yourself justice and have it presented in a proper way. And by proper, I don't mean that we're doing it according to industry standard. It's not a headshot, for example, but we are doing it in a way that's easily understandable and digestible for the officer. Now, somebody on TikTok has asked if they can get an application. Please just email me for any free resources that I have. These are for you. They're no strings attached. They're my O1 checklist, my 2 ebooks on how to improve your professional creativity, and my approach to the different requirements for the O1. So again, these are free resources. Please email me, and I'm happy to give them to you. So in a nutshell, this is something that I think is a really great thing to celebrate. I work a lot with performers, performers who come to me. They know that they may not know, but I studied theater for 10 years. I studied the Meisner technique. So I have a really strong understanding of theater and what it means. I performed all over New York. I performed in street theater at Theater for the New City, which is one of the most important street theater companies in the US. I performed in experimental theater at La Mama ETC here on the Lower East Side. So it is extremely important that I think that you work with somebody who really has a strong understanding of the arts. But these are really important wins to highlight, because you may be a performer and you may be thinking about applying for the O1, and it's important for you to realize I don't want to say the uphill battle, but it's important for you to realize the obstacles that are present within the O1 are applying for the O1. You just want to make sure that you are aware of the current culture and the current climate with regards to the O1, performers, musicians, and dancers. So this client was an RFE client. She had previously received an RFE. We fought that RFE. We fight them aggressively by educating and pointing out their holes in their analysis. And tomorrow I will talk about my other client who was approved in 4 days, client who had no US based experience. So no US experience at all. We just utilized his Canadian work. And actually, if you guys watched our live last week, I actually showed you his petition. So it's that same client whose petition that I showed you last week that got approved in 4 days. Very exciting news. Tomorrow we will continue to talk about my O1 approvals. Hopefully we can move off those topics and focus more on different aspects of the case, of the deconstruction of the case. Please continue to follow me. Once September hits, this is the last quarter of the year, and we are going to be doing monthly series. So I am going to be giving out free content on every month. So for example, the month of September is going to be the month that I focus on influencers. I will be giving free articles. So my publications, I've been published in a lot of different places. So the work that I write is really important and valuable. Lives, videos, social media posts daily about influencers and how they can utilize the O1 visa to work in the US. So as we know, and this will be like a little preview, the US is the epicenter for content creators. I represent many influencers and content creators who are working in, and also micro influencers. So when we're talking about micro influencers, it doesn't mean that you need to have 1 million followers, right? For those of you who are watching me on TikTok, as you may not know, or you may know, I represented Fernanda Jimenez, who has over 6 million followers on TikTok. She actually found me on TikTok because of all the lives and all the videos that I do. I represent many others, and I can't reveal names unless it's public knowledge, but it is public knowledge that I represented Fernanda Jimenez for her O1 visa. So the month of September, going to be educating and providing free resources and information for influencers, content creators, and micro influencers on how they can continue their work in the US, because as I mentioned earlier, the US is the epicenter of the world for content creators. At some point, you're going to reach a certain level within your career, and you're just going to get this pressure to come and be in the US. I just had a consultation with another content creator from Nigeria, and huge fan base, but cannot really continue to bring his career to the next level unless he's here in the States. So these are important things for you to know. If you're a content creator living outside of the US, know that there is a visa option for you. Content creators can qualify if they have the requirements required by law for the artist visa and come and be a content creator here in the US, and to make the most out of the career here in the US, because as I said, the US, Miami, New York, and LA is the epicenter, or our cities, which are the epicenter for content creators. So every month will be a different profession, and September is going to be our influencer and micro influencer and content creator month. So tomorrow we will discuss this client with no US experience that got approved in 4 days, premium processing, so he expedited his case. And I will continue to try to give as much information as possible about the O1, and maybe try this week to break it down into the different aspects of the petition so that you'll have more information to make a more informed informed decision about your journey. So I hope this was helpful. As I said, and I will continue to say, follow me, like this video, share with your friends. If you're an artist or if you're a creative person, just know that there is a possibility for you to work legally in the States with the artist visa if you qualify. If you do not qualify yet, or if you don't think that you have the strong requisite to apply for the O1, book a legal marketing plan session with me. This is an hour where we are talking about what to do to improve your professional profile. I will provide you with a small marketing plan that you can utilize. It's a document that you will be able to utilize and apply to increase your professional profile for the artist visa. This marketing plan is also going to include a transcript of our legal marketing session, and also a recording of our time together. So again, there's always hope. In where there's a will, there's a way. If you want to make it here, you can. So thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Take advantage of the free resources that I have for you. And I will be back tomorrow to talk to you about this case, which was approved in 4 days. 4 days, case was approved, premium processing, no US-based experience. And after this client, hopefully we can focus more on O1 visas and specific aspects of the case. So thank you, everybody, and we will talk tomorrow. Bye-bye.